I get it. And then when you watched RB4 went down and tested the low of the week and then reversed, you say, I get it. And now tonight we start another round, with our RB1. But one of the things that was interesting, and I told Jonathan, did anybody receive the, I don't know which rooms you put it in. I said, Jonathan, ought to go capture this. You ought to go capture this for people to see how important these times are. Did anybody see what Jonathan put together and posted? Frank, you got it. What he put it in the T-Buzz talking trade room, and I think he posted it in the SPX room. Okay, but it was a real good lesson to see. The whole world was running to the sidelines, but we didn't. We waited, and that's why we have a special meeting today at RB4, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Just to let everybody know, if you want to join us tomorrow, you're welcome to join us. We'll post that link in our training trade at 11, and we'll do it again tomorrow at 1:30. People thought it was helpful to show you how RB4 sort of sets you up and everything. So I thought we did it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a good capture for him to post that, and I need to get him to do more of that because it's so good to be able to see it and then sit there and say, okay, now I see why I'm so emphatic about this approach to the market, and it works. It works. I mean, think about the people that went short and got squeezed out to the top side. So I thought that was interesting. So, folks, we're currently about right at the monthly open, okay? And it's pretty good. Yeah, I think, Gwen, they do have a recording of it, I guess. We had to ask Jonathan that. But other things administratively, David, one of our guys, he said he's out on a date, and he's showing his date Wednesday on the web. That's pretty good, isn't it? Huh? I'm on a date with Dave. Anyway, he's a great guy. You got to meet him. Just got to meet him. Anyway, I want to get into it, but Chuck's doing an outstanding job, and Jonathan's doing an outstanding job keeping you up to par. And I think that Gwen says a day learning how to make money. I like that, Gwen. That's good. We go everywhere, don't we? But anyway, we are really looking at some opportunity here, and that's the reason I'm going to talk about it a little bit in a second. But I hope everybody is hanging in there okay. We're at a low commitment level right now with the VIX approaching that 20, and low commitment means we're pretty much in cash except for a few minor plays here and there. Okay, that's sort of our stance right here on this tight market here on October the 22nd. So, how many is yearning? I'm telling you, yearning for those 18 days this month that we were, cranking down profits. Who's yearning for some profits? Tell me if you're yearning for some profits. I'm sort of yearning for some profits. So to do that, I'm going to go to where it is a very systematic approach using time of day as early as tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, that's the plan. Okay. That's the plan. Hello, Hector. Hello, Hector. All right, folks, thank you for being here. And Chuck, yeah, you sounded a lot better after you got your mic fixed. All right, risks involved in trading. We always talk about risks, don't we? Because we put risk first in every setup we do. If you get a chance, past performance is not indicative of future results. You get a chance, you ought to review today's train and trade. I got an overwhelming 5 stars after people heard what we had to say about discipline in the markets. Now, for those who don't know, I'm Tom Busby. I've been a trader for my whole career, I guess, and active trader since the 70s. Former member of Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Have 3 books: Winning the Day Trading Game, The Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. They're pertinent today as they were back when they were put to book. And I always talk about the fact you really ought to read that first one to get a good foundation of how we do it, and we will do it. All right, John, I'm going to think about you tomorrow with this trade, okay? Worked with students since 1996. Now, at DTI, this is important, we help you master the markets through education. That's why we show up every day at 11 o'clock to try to educate you about the market, give you training, use our experience to analyze what's going on. All in Train and Trade. It encapsulates exactly what we're trying to do there at 11 o'clock in the morning. In my opinion, the ultimate outcome of this market is going to be higher. So the question you probably have is, when do you know to start buying, right? Is that a question you'd have? When do you start buying, okay? Well, there's 3 criteria I'm going to give you tonight before I even get in it, and this is my opinion. When the VIX is below 18, write that down. The VIX is below 18, that's the VIX futures. When we're above the monthly open, 67.25, and we're above Monday's high. Can you remember those 3 steps right there? Those are the 3 steps you'll know when it's time to start buying. Simple, straightforward, and they work. Will you type those into the room where everybody can see what I just said? That was off the top of my head because the question popped in there. When are we going to start buying? VIX below 18, above the monthly open, and above Monday's open, or Monday's high. I said open, but above Monday's high. Write that down. Those are the 3 steps, okay, that we're going to look at to see. Now, here's where we are. It's hard to believe, even after today's sell-off, we're still at 13.72. 13.72. NASDAQ's up 17.72. Dow's up 8.8. Had a record high yesterday on the Dow. DAX is up 21%. That's about where it's been most of the year after it took off in the first quarter. Gold, believe it or not, is still up 55.62. Crude, another believe it or not, we're down 16.51%. And bonds, look at bonds. Remember when I told you bonds got above that pivot number of 115? Look at bonds now, up 5%. I checked in the night, and bonds are still hanging in there. I think we're going to see 20. And we will post the slides in here because we want you to have the slides. It's easy to follow when you got the slides. You agree? So we'll post that in there, and that way you've got the slides, and we'll be able to share it with you. My 10 tickers. Well, MU's not above 210. Tesla's not above 440. Gilead's not above 24.55. And Apple, though, is above 255.55. Apple is above 255.55, okay? In fact, it went to 265 this week from Sunday. The diamond, which is something that I hardly ever trade. I ought to trade it more. It's currently about 465 on the diamond. TQQ's the pivot number there above 105.55 in the noise zone there. And the QQQ, we want it above 605.55. The QQQ tonight, we tell you, is 604.56 in the noise area. That's a nice thing to say about my T-Buzz TNT. Thank you so much. You ought to copy and paste that and share that with everybody. He's in a good mood. All right, I want to talk to you about my SPX program. A month ago, month and a half ago, I started doing serious training on market timing, and I taught people in the SPX how to take advantage of days like today. I showed them how to trade the market in the morning, first hour, how starting at 10:30, 12:30, 2 o'clock, you could trade the SPX or XSP, and there's no better market, I think, for you to learn and be with me, because that's where I'm going tomorrow in the SPX, okay? Now, it's one of the toughest markets I ever learned to trade. I spent over almost 2 months in training. We've got such a library of videos. Nobody's got this, okay? Rob today made $1,000 on the SPX. He listened and learned. Way to go, Rob. Isn't that great? I love seeing these stories. People say, Tom, that SPX came in handy. That's why I brought it up tonight, because, again, you need to be part of it. Now, what is the SPX and XSP? There's two of them. SPX is the big boy, XSP is junior. They're cash settled options based on the S&P 500. Nobody that you'll ever meet is more qualified to teach you this than me. And I'll say that because I started with the E-mini 40 plus years ago, and it translates right into it using the moneymaker. And it's a great tool to set up each and every reference bar, each and every trade you do. And the beautiful thing about it, here's the beautiful thing about it. The SPX, and I give Fred credit, he's here tonight, spurring me to teach it, okay? We were at a one-on-one, he said, this SPX, XSP. I said, Fred, I don't really like that SPX. I like the XSP, but I put a combination together. It's a two-punch. We can trade it anytime, day or night, with what I've taught people. Fast directional exposure. SPX is, I buy some options early in the day. When it sets up, I showed people how to tell the direction. You're in that trade for a few hours. And the XSP, that is a short duration sell you can do starting at 10:30, 12:30, and 3:30. Pretty good stuff. Bonus insight, what I do from time to time. SPX calls while setting XSP call spreads, two instruments, two roles. Think of pairing directional intent with structured risk. Not hedging anything or guessing on both sides. Straightforward based on the reference bar approach. We started a beta program, a service to teach you this. I'm continuing my beta portion, meaning that I'm still training in SPX and XSP, probably training for the rest of the year. When I see things that I can teach you to make you a better trader. Tuesday and Thursdays when I really focus on it. What's tomorrow? Anybody know what tomorrow is? I'm laughing. It's Thursday, isn't it? The time frame I'll be looking at this thing all day long. I plan to give about 10 trades over the next 2 weeks during this period. Simple, straightforward. My goal when I was teaching, you go through the lessons. You learn what's in those lessons, you will be a 70% or higher accurate trader. That is a promise that you will see through the training I give. How many people agree it's higher than that's in the program, what I taught you? That it's actually higher than my goal, minimum goal of 70%. Gwen agrees, Frank agrees, everybody agrees, because I went to extra effort to show insights and ways to get direction. Now, if we hit our goals being 70% accurate, let me show you the power of this being taking a small approach that you can scale, by the way. Deborah says 85 to 90. I agree. But if we're at 70% accurate, what does that mean? That means we're going to win 7 times. We're going to lose 3. You have 1960 in winners, 750 in losers. You're going to make 1210 every cycle. A cycle to me is like a baseball player hitting it over the fence. Around the bases you go, and you bank the money. And that's usually one contract, nothing big. Keep in mind, I value accuracy in trading, which lowers risk. How good am I? Well, I don't know, but I think anybody that can shoot almost 200 trades out and have only 27 losers and 1 break even, for it an 86% accuracy rate, gives you some pretty good odds, doesn't it? Even if it drops a little bit, it's still tremendous. That's up markets, down markets, sideways markets. That's every day. I think I might be your source getting you on the right side. In October, I've had 2 losers. I took 1 today. 17 winners though. I'm at 89% for the month of October with 5 days to go. So who's ready to join me to learn how to do this? This is where you can come in and learn how to do this step by step. Go through the master class. Being with me. I'll be with you tomorrow. We'll be talking about it during that RB4 time frame. I'll be talking about it during the train and trade. I'll be talking about it in the Telegram channel. I'll be talking about it. So now's the time for you to join me and get started reading and understanding market timing with this great instrument. Now, supercharge those results because I'll continue doing these master series. When you have questions, we'll make a class out of it. We don't mind doing it. That's what we do here at DTI. I think this is misleading that I'm planning to hold 10 additional SPX classes. I probably held 20 so far. I'm going on the next 10. Maybe it's every 10, right? Every cycle. I believe in education. I continue to educate to the power of the SPX/XSP. Questions like, Tom, where's support for the SPX? I'll show you how to do it. I'll say, where's resistance for the SPX? I'll teach you how to get that. How valuable is that information, having it at 10 o'clock in the morning? That's pretty valuable information, isn't it? Join today, get the additional sessions. Here's some of the examples of some of the classes we taught and some that we'll teach in the future. Making sure you got a big picture view where you can succeed. Get signed up. Now, here's the offer. We got a channel. I like the Telegram channels. Pretty good stuff. All trades will be posted. Here's an example of a trade. Example trade, the ticker, SPX, long call. Buy to open. Entry around $2. That's 200 bucks. Target around 340. Down to 75 cents where you get out. Pretty good strategy for early in the morning. How many people here could buy a $200 option? Let me ask that question. How many of you here in the morning could buy a $200 option if it was on the right side? And how many people could get out if we were wrong at 75 cents? And then get back in the next day. This is the way it works. 9:45 to 10:30 is when I'm looking, 3:30 to 4, and I've incorporated, Adam. Now I'm doing a 10:30, 12:30 setup. Probe, and then a Genesis trade after Genesis on it, okay? So I've incorporated that. In fact, I'm gonna hold a class on that this week. I gotta figure out when I'm gonna do it, so let's do it. We got the whole day covered with the SPX, XSP, so your schedule is not a problem. You can do all 3 of them, or you can do just one time frame you can be available. It's so worth it to learn this. Probably no other program will offer this kind of education and trading together. I will do at least that many trades, if not more. Masterclass after masterclass. Get everyone up to speed. If you have questions, we'll show you how to do it. And this course, nothing's like it's been offered in the past. Act now to be part of it. We got 30 slots left in the program. 30, that's it. Only accept 30. That means you got to make a decision. Hey, don't go into tomorrow without knowing the direction during these time zones. Don't go there. How confident I am that I'll get you on the right side? Well, over the last 5 months, about 86% confidence. Just ask people who's been with me. If we achieve our goals with accuracy and risk, it will be your go-to trade each day. Regardless of what the stock market does, like today, regardless of what it does, whether it goes up, goes down, you'll be able to participate. Bill said it best to me, music to my ears. When it comes to market timing, I can teach you how. And I proved it in this course. I use the money maker to set up resistance and support. You'll see it posted. You'll have it to know where the highs are, where's the low. Look at that. I told people when we started this course, it's going a lot higher. That's when the E-mini was at 65.05. Even with the downturn today, we're still at 67.30. You don't think that's valuable to know that? I have a jackpot trade. I still got to spend a class teaching where you pay $1. Now here's one. How many of you could put $1 up to make 20 bucks? I asked that question, but here's the key to that trade. Not flipping a coin. I'm talking about 70% accurate. How many people can do that trade? It doesn't come around every day, but it does set up from time to time. So get ready. That's 2 master classes I got to do. I've just put myself on the line to do. My plan after I get you trained is give you one of these as it sets up each week. In the next month, we'll be live watching this through the Telegram channel. The jackpot trade, we really have to teach that. This was in September. We're doing it now at the end of October. What a beautiful time to do it with the VIX where it is. SPX, XSP. There it is, folks. 1 year you'll be with me. Probably, I was down at the trade show down in Orlando. I found out down there that this is cheap with what I'm doing. Giving classes and doing this. I mean, they're charging up to $15,000. Most of these guys are wet behind the ear. Sign up tonight, take the $2,000 for one of those 30 spots, and guess what? We would do it. Let's see what Deborah just wrote. Tom, you always give us more than you promise. I've never seen you in all the years over-deliver like you have with the SPX beta program. This is a program delivered for students the rest of their trading careers. Should be a basic foundation program in every one of your students' portfolio. Thank you, Deborah. She's got it. Yeah, because I said, I'm not going to quit and go full time on this thing for trading until I get everybody up to speed. I'm bringing on 30 extra people. Now, who's going to join me and be part of this winning team I've assembled? Now's the time. Watch Masterclass 1 and 2 before tomorrow. They're recorded for your review. Get into the Telegram channel tomorrow. Let's do it. Any questions anybody has? Shoba says, I'm already in it and I'm very excited that we're going to do this great. Go to dtitrader.com/SPX beta. Click that link, get part of it. Let's make it happen. If you're not excited, let me just say this. If you're not excited after what I just did in this presentation, I don't know how to make you get any more excited than this. You heard what the students said, they're part of it. This is what people wish they could get when they sign up for these things. Let's do it, Jennifer. Let's do it. I want you to set your clock, watch the first 2 master classes. All my people in the program, review those. Tomorrow, we're on all day finding these trades. Let's do it. Any other questions anybody has? I'm going to ask Adam. I think this was so good and I covered so much. I'm going to ask Adam, can he replay it? You know, because this is a really good presentation you've got to be part of.